Welcome to Unit 2. And in this unit, we're going to be learning everything that you need to know for AP Biology. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. So the AP thinking pattern for this whole unit is we're going to be looking at the structure, okay? And then we are going to be learning about the function of this structure. But most importantly, we're going to be learning about what happens if this is disrupted. Okay, so a thinking pattern like this structure helps by doing this function. If it is disrupted, then this is the effect because this is the reason. For example, here is an exit task. And remember, you can always pause the video, do the exit task, try and figure it out, and then I'll go over it as well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be looking at is membranes, for example. So the plasma membrane, like this, acts as a selective boundary. Now, what it does, it controls exchange. Okay, so it controls the exchange of materials that goes into the cell and ultimately goes out of the cell. And why it needs to do that? It needs to do that to maintain homeostasis. And homeostasis is stable internal conditions, so the cell can function and survive. Okay. Now, so this structure, and this structure referring to is membranes, help the cells by controlled exchange. And that is basically, it just means selective permeability, meaning some things can go in, okay, and some things cannot. And then finally, it does this to maintain homeostasis. So if it is disrupted, then homeostasis, okay, homeostasis will be affected because the reason is because it is a selective boundary. A selective boundary or selective membrane. Now, that is just a quick overview for the entire lesson, for the entire unit, and I hope to see you for the next lesson. So here's another one. You can pause the video and then kind of just like think about what's going to happen if it is disrupted. So ribosomes build proteins, okay? And if the ribosomes cannot assemble, meaning the ribosome parts cannot attach to each other, that disruption is going to mean no protein synthesis, meaning no proteins are going to be made. The next one, the Golgi apparatus. It modifies, sorts, package proteins for transport. And here, if it cannot package those proteins, okay, the proteins will not leave the cell. Okay, if it can't package it, it means it can't put it in a vesicle, meaning you can't secrete it or the proteins can't go anywhere. It's kind of stuck. Okay. Next one, the mitochondria. It produces ATP through cellular respiration. Okay, and if there are fewer membrane folds, then it will have a decrease in ATP production. Lysosomes. So they contain enzymes, okay? They have these enzymes, and these enzymes digest and recycle worn out cell parts or macromolecules. Now, if these enzymes are defective, okay, you will have less digestion. So the cell would really struggle to recycle these materials, and damaged organelles will just keep on building up in the cell. okay, lowering the efficiency of the cell. The central vacuole, and we find this in plant cells. They have one big central vacuole. It stores water, and it also maintains the turgor pressure. So if this vacuole is full, it's pushing against that cell wall, and that creates turgor pressure. Now, if the central vacuole loses water, okay, the plant might wilt or become flaccid. Okay. And then finally, the chloroplasts. The chloroplasts are there for photosynthesis, and they make sugar, which is the food the plants need. Okay, and they use light energy. So if the chloroplasts are damaged, then ultimately this plant is going to produce less sugar. Okay, and less food means that the plant might die. So this is a very good idea of how you need to understand these different organelles by linking it with the structure and the function. And then if there is a disruption that matches either the structure of the function of that organelle. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and come join us on the Skool.com community page where you'll find AP Bio blueprints. And if you take a look inside, you will find that Unit 1 is completely free. See you there.